Hello everyone, this is Jeremy and welcome to episode 24 of Levitated. As we get started today, I want to point out something I did a little bit silly last time. I forgot that the waystone is in this pack. So waystones are a pretty simple form of teleportation. Put one down, name it, and then you have activated it. You can see, we see it here. You obviously can't teleport from it to itself, but now if I go to our space station, I can place another waystone here, space station, and then I can teleport between the two. And normally, interdimensional or even long distance teleport using waystones costs levels, but in this pack, it doesn't. You just have to click the thing you want to go to. So this is a much easier way that doesn't involve having to make this and do the void and all that stuff. Whoops. For going to the space station, sure, it saves us 15 millibuckets of Duel of the Void, but this is more relevant for when we have new places we want to go, because we can just drop one of these off. They're super cheap, as opposed to the telepath, which isn't expensive, but it's still, it's more expensive than this, and we have to give it both fluid and energy and yada yada yada. So waystones for the win. Cool. So anyways, we left off yesterday by dropping our rocket into the void. I'll have to make a new one of those, but this time, let's make a rocket to launch satellites. So we need to find a new habitable planet to go to. And unfortunately, the only planets in our solar system are the one we're on and the void overworld, which we don't want to live on because there's nothing there. So let's make some satellites so we can scan the universe to try to find some habitable planets. For this, we'll need the satellites themselves. We'll need a satellite terminal, and the warp controller to go there will come later. To make satellites, we need advanced rocketry's most complicated multi-block. So that is a satellite builder. It's composed of the satellite builder block and about 1 million other blocks. Alright, my bad. It's actually the simplest multi-block in advanced rocketry. The satellite builder is literally a satellite builder on top of a power input. Why they didn't just let the satellite builder accept energy and be a single block machine is beyond me, but I guess single block machines are too simple for this mod, so multi-blocks only. Anyways, to build a satellite, you need a chassis. Now do be careful when you shift click these things in. You're allowed to shift click any, put any item in any slot. If you put items in the wrong slot, it doesn't work. So put them in the right slot. Chassis goes in the chassis slot. You need a satellite ID chip in the chip slot, and I'm here to not have made these. So we need 3 satellites in order to find planets. We need to seed them, figure out what they're made of, and figure out how heavy they are. So for that, we need 3 types of satellites. Ignore the explosions. So for this, put an unprogrammed chip there and you'll get a programmed chip out. That's how you reference the satellite later. Don't lose your chips. Chips are important. Anyways, then you have to put the actual sensor in this trophy. Looks kind of like a trophy, right? Trophy slot. So we're going to start with the optical one. These 3 are for energy. I don't actually know why it matters. I think you can use a single small solar panel and it works just fine. I know you can do energy, like you can use these satellites to get energy and beam it back down to Earth. I think using better solar panels matters for that purpose and that purpose only. But you want to put 3 data storage units in here. These are the important, well, these and the sensor are the important bits for the satellite. So we do that, we hit build, it does a thing, and it should spit out a item, yep, and program our chip for us. So do that for all 3 of our satellites. This one, that goes there. This time it'll be a composition. Oh, this one shift clicks in the right slot. That doesn't, though. And build. So this is ID 0. This should give us ID 1. Excellent. And there's the item, and then one more. Also going to need a new rocket if we're going to launch a rocket, because ours kind of fell into the void. So I'm going to try to launch all 3 at once. To launch all 3 at once, we need 3 satellite bays, and we still need the guidance computer, and optionally the seat to sit on. And I don't know if 4 buckets of fuel is enough for this. It says it's enough. All right, which means we don't need to make our fuel tanks any bigger. Let's see. So what we want to do is, first of all, turn this into a rocket, and then in each of these satellite bays, we drop a chip. So, go in order. 0. Did I go left to right or right to left? 1 and 2. And then as for where we want to launch to, I'm going to put the planet ID chip in here and just tell it to launch up and down. So for this, we can actually do an unmanned launch. Start it up, get off. I think there's a different block you can use to launch these automatically without having to physically get on it. Oh, wait. Wait. I put the wrong items in here. You don't put the ID chips in there, you put the satellites. I guess this is now a manned launch. And I have to make sure to do it quickly enough. Ooh, close one. Alright, well, now it's unmanned again. Gravity, take me down. Good. So the ID chips are used for something else. When that rocket is gone all the way up and launched its things, we can then access the data on those satellites. To do that, we need to make this thing. Satellite terminal. Personally, I prefer to make 3, 1 for each satellite, although you can definitely make do with 1. Looks like a face, kind of. 2 eyes. Never mind, whatever. I've made the 3 satellite terminals. As you can see, our rocket is back. That means that it's deployed its thing. I hope. Check in the bays just to make sure. These should all be empty now. They're empty. So then we can leave that there. We can use the satellite terminals anywhere, although I think it's more convenient to use them up on your space station because you use it as part of the space station. So I'm going to set up just a little bit of power up here, thanks to Flux Networks. That's very easy to do. And these things are single block machines. They don't need access to a, it's not a block and a power input plug. I still find that one of the most hilarious multi-blocks, but whatever. Input, what's it called? Wait, no, I need a flux point. This thing, yeah. Go here. Cool. So these are powered now. Into each one of these, we put one of the IDs. So ID 0, ID 1, and ID 2. Then hit connect to connect to that satellite. And I'm not sure if it's a bug or a feature, but satellites start, when you first launch them, with full data. So if you put 3 data circuit thingies, data storage units, into each satellite, you come out with well, they generate, like they spawn effectively with 3,000 of each data type. You need 100 of each to scan for planets, for each attempt at scanning for planets. So it's very convenient that they start with all their data. After you use up their data, in fact, if I hit connect, we can see, well, this number is slowly ticking up, but we only get 2 significant figures, so we can't actually see it. And this will tick back up to 3,000. So I guess it's convenient. It's very convenient that they start at max data, although I feel like they shouldn't. But I'm not going to complain. Don't hit this button. Anyways, you put a data circuit there, click store to chip, and now we've stored that data on the chip. So connect to downlink the data, store to chip, and we should be able to do this 3 times. There we go. Store to chip. And now we can see our satellite has 5 data. It's very slow at making data. So it's very important that you launch your satellites with 3 data storage circuits in them so that they can start with full data. And honestly, if I needed more, I'd probably destroy the satellite and launch a new one, as opposed to wait the forever it takes for it to generate a couple thousand more data. But anyways, let me grab all this data. I think there's an easier way to move data around than literally with like the USB sticks, but I don't actually know what that is, so we're gonna do it this way. To use that data, we need a warp controller. So this go into the data thing, and then I guess I can only do these stack. No, they don't. We can only see our hotbar here, so let's see, we have mass data. So mass data goes into here, store to buffer. They stack when they're empty. Anyways, I'm going to move all of our data from these chips then over to these buffers. I'm like 100% sure there's a machine that does this. Maybe it's worth figuring that out, but if it turns out we need more than 3,000 data and we have to automate this process, I'll figure it out. But for now, moving data on chips is not the worst, It's not the biggest hassle ever. Once we have the data in here, we can then start scanning for planets. So we want an empty planet ID chip. I think I craft those by doing this and that. Yeah. Put an empty planet ID chip into, you can't access your inventory from there, into that slot, and then click search for planet. Sometimes the pack can be configured that planets require artifacts up to 5 to actually discover them. Based on the fact that this quest book doesn't tell us anything about it, I'm going to assume it doesn't. You can also check the config files to find out, but that's kind of the brute force way. So anyways, you hit the search for planet button, and then you'd be very sad that you don't have a time in a bottle to speed this up, because why this takes a whole minute to run, I don't know. See you when this is done though. When it finishes, there's a chance that you will discover a planet and it'll be programmed onto your chip. It appears we did not succeed. We can hit this button, whoopsies, go up a level and see the planets that we know about. So right now we're in the Sol system. We know about Earth and the End. We don't want to go to either of those because the Earth is void. Can we see Earth's moon? Doesn't look like it. But yeah, we've seen some other systems already. Wait, I think this is just a way of crediting people. So I guess these are the names of people that helped like translate the pack. These are sponsors of some sort, I presume Patreon sponsors for the pack author. That's really neat. That's a good way to give people shout outs. I love it. All right, anyways, I don't actually know what we're looking for. Yin and the other yin. Man, I honestly have no clue what we're looking for here. I'm gonna look at the configs so I can try to figure out what I'm doing, because I don't know if are we looking for a new system, a planet in one of these systems? As far as I can tell from reading the config, that there is a planet in the Levitated system, so it says 6. When we come in here, we only see 4. So I guess there's 2 hidden planets in this system, but at least one of them is habitable and Earth-like. So that's what we're looking for. Remember these 4 names? The one we're looking for will not be one of these. So I guess the idea is we just keep searching for planet until we find it. For my sake, I hope this doesn't take too long, because it literally takes 1 minute for this bar to do its thing. Search number 2 was... looks unsuccessful to me. 3rd time's a charm, they say. Maybe not. We gotta get lucky eventually. This is number 4. Hey, there we go. We found a planet named Dusk Star. That's not the one I was expecting to find. Where is that planet? Planet list. Whoopsies. This UI is so hard to use. In here, select... was it one of these? Dusk Star. I'm gonna search a few more times, but this might be the one I'm looking for. That's not the name it has in the config. In fact, this planet doesn't exist in the config. Where is it? What is it? Apparently it's a planet made with a bunch of primal mana. Not what I'm looking for. So, in you go again, and I guess we have to keep searching. I thought there was only 1 planet to be found, but apparently there's more than one. I'm just gonna cut out all the searches until we find it, because this is getting a little bit ridiculous now. I've now spent 5 minutes of my life waiting for this bar to sweep. Well, we found the moon. I imagine that's just a moon. I think we're gonna skip that one. Keep going. Ah, we did it. Kepler 22p. That was what I was looking for. It took 7 tries total, so 7 minutes gone. Let's select it from our list here. So it should be in Levitator. Kepler 22p, and from here we can even see it looks kind of blue. You know, like a planet that supports life. Select that. All right. Now to actually go there, we need a warp core. So I believe I've made one of those. The warp core needs some gold and some titanium. blocks. I think it's 15 blocks. Let's just make a bunch of ingots. And in fact, let's grab our hollow projector to see what exactly it needs. It just has to be built anywhere on your space station for you to be able to warp to other systems. So, where's my list? A core, 2 blocks of gold, 4 structures, a hatch, and 15 blocks of titanium. It also takes 32 pieces, I believe, of dilithium crystals to use as fuel for the warp. We thankfully make more than 1 piece of dilithium per minute, so we can stay ahead of the Cylons. Anyways, with this, I guess it takes a little bit less than 32. Each piece of fuel provides 20 fuel, and so I guess it costs 25 pieces of fuel to warp. But before we warp, we need some way to get from an orbit around that planet to that planet's surface. So I'm going to head back to the base, grab or take a rocket, and ride that up to our space station. For that, I need my space station ID chip to tell it where to land, and swap the guidance computer to that, and launch. Are we fully fueled? We are. Alright, up we go. See you on the station. With our rocket here ready to take us down to the surface of the planet, let's warp the station to Kepler 22p. In technical terms, this doesn't do anything. It changes our background to this like deep space background for about a minute maybe, and then after that it'll change our background to the other planet. We're not actually going anywhere. As you can see, our coordinates aren't changing, but you know, use your imagination. When we get there though, it allows us to then ride our rocket down to the surface. So, ooh, traveling at the speed of light, or faster than light, I suppose. Just realized that there's a range on these satellite terminals. They are too far away from our satellites in orbit around the end to actually function. Kind of cute. Anyways, I expect we should be arriving any second now. In preparation for that, we'll get back on our rocket, set our destination, switch this back to the planet, and because we obviously can't ride this rocket to the end, I guess we have to wait until we arrive in orbit around that other planet before I can set it. But we've been floating through space for a while now, so game, whenever you want to take me to where I was going, that'd be swell. That'll make me wait for 5 minutes on advanced rocketry. But looks like we've made it. There's not much to see here. We're in orbit around the planet. I kind of expected it to look Earth-like, but I don't know. Maybe we're just over a great big ocean. Anyways, now that we're here, though, we should be able to select destination and pick the planet. Select. All right, so with me, I have the waystone to teleport back and forth afterwards, and I think that's all we need. Take me up. And here we are. We made it home. Home is apparently snowy. But let's get down to the surface. It probably take a little bit to generate terrain. Is there building a beacon? Okay, this is just a thing we can do to so that anyone else playing on my server, spoiler, it's in single player, there's no one else here, doesn't have to do the whole planet searching thing. They can just warp here directly. I'm gonna do that after we land and place our teleporter, just to see if there's anything past here. But I believe that marks the end of the, I guess, the standard route here. So this pack is a little unique in that it actually has 2 endings. What we did is typically considered like the standard or normal route, but there's a different hidden ending that we can accomplish where instead of doing the rockety stuff and going to space, we do some weird crafty stuff. So I'm gonna, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but I'm thinking we will look into that afterwards. First of all, let's get down here and see what this is like. This is just like a snow-covered, it's an ice plains. I don't want to live in ice plains. There's monsters here. Ugh, can I get a bed? Don't explode on me, bed. Don't explode. Okay, I just can't sleep on it. Well, here we are. We made it. Home, question mark? We can now teleport between our space station, the planet, and our base. Our rocket now is out of fuel. Well, it has a bit of fuel. I do wonder if it can make it to the space station from here. Let's give it a shot. This planet I think just uses standard overworld generation, so there's really nothing to see here. But I am curious, can we make it? Worst case, we fall out of the sky when we run out of fuel, right? That'd be kind of funny. Ooh, we made it on fumes. We were just barely able to make it back onto our station. If we didn't make it, it's no big deal. We can disassemble the rocket by hitting this button and then, you know, break it into its component parts and carry it back by hand. But this works. All right, so anyways, I'm going to make that beacon real quick. In fact, I could just hop off this and I guess it falls faster than I do. This was a mistake. But yeah, I'm going to make that beacon and see if there's any more quests after that hidden. Imagine the quest here just requires us to pick up the item. And nope, that's it. All right, so yeah, that officially marks the end of this part of the pack. I think what I'm going to do here, episode's probably not quite going to be as long as usual, but we'll stop here early for today because I have to do some technical things. I might have to roll back a couple backups because I'm not 100% sure if it's possible after you've gotten to this point to go back and do the other ending. So I might have to roll back a couple, you know, to backups a couple videos ago, undo some of the things we did. But then we will try to see what exactly this other ending is about. So, yeah, I guess I'll make a world download of this point available. Put the link in the description if I don't forget, but I tend to forget these things, so someone will yell at me in the comments for it, and then I'll put it there afterwards when I remember. But yeah, I'll put a world download for this world as it is right now. You guys can check out what there is to check out here. I don't think there's anything too fancy in here, but you know, hey, there's some pretty cool stuff here, I guess, with the whole rainbow generator and all. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow to check out the alternate / true / secret ending for this pack. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.